So if this random slip doesn't, if the random slip that is generated doesn't contains in this generated slip, then what we can do is we can add that random generated number to our map. Fine. Then we can tell that make this generated slip as false because we don't want to run for this particular iteration. And also we want to add the generated number to our generated slip so that for the next iteration it will have the reference. Dot add this random slip, and I'll put the semicolon. And now we can just walk through dry run this scenario so that we will understand what is happening. So let us say the number of prisoner is like 10. So first time when this code will execute, it will come here, it will run for the index 1, it will tell generate sleep as true, and while this is true, run this code. This code will generate one random number between 1 to 10. So for the first time, this generated sleep will not contain this random sleep, that is a random number which is generated. So it will go here, it will add in the first place that random number, make this one as false, and add the same random number into the generated sleep list. So now when it go back to this while loop, it will become false. So it will come out for the second index, it will go, it will make the generate sleep as true. Now it comes here and enters this while loop and generate one random number. Suppose here the number generated is the same number as the previous one. So what will happen? It will check in this if condition if the number generated is already present in the list. So that is true. So it will say continue, means it will again run this while loop and again generate one number. It will run until the number generated is not contained in the slip. If the number generated is not in the slip, then it will come down, add add to our room, add to our room box I can say, and then make this a boolean as a false and add the value in this generated slip list. So with this iteration we can say that this room map will contain the key from 1 to the given number of prisoners, let's say 10, and the values will be from 1 to 10, that will be unique and randomly placed. So let me run this code and see what happens. So if I execute this same code, so now I can see the number 1 is 9, 2 has 2, 3 is 10, 4 is 3. So I can see from key side 1 to 10 and the values side are all random, okay, and all unique. There is no repetition on the value side. So with these, I can say that we have successfully created our method to create the room. That is to create the 1 to 100 boxes with 1 to 100 random slips randomly placed in the boxes. So let me return this room map, and moreover I would like to serialize this one just to see the things more proper in our JSON viewer. So let me save this one. This time I'll pass number like let's say 20, say, and let me execute. I debug this one and I copy this whole code and I'll go to my online JSON viewer. Now there's the code, and if I put the format, so you see 1 to 20 is in the order, and the number that are generated are values are all unique and randomly placed. So henceforth we are successfully created this method to create the room. So now we will write the code to run this scenario. So for that I will say I will create one method. Its return type I'll keep void for now, and I'll call the method name as run scenario. Run scenario is nothing but this is going to run the whole the strategy. Like first prisoner will come, open the box number one, whatever number is there in that box, it will go to the that particular box, let's say 50. It will open box number 50, and if suppose in box number 50 the number is 7, sleep is 75, then it will go to box number 75, and so on, the whole scenario that will be simulated in this particular method. So for that I will take one integer. I'll call it as number of, I need to track the number of box that is open, number of box opened, so that it should not exceed half the value of the number of prisoners. That is the uh, rule described in the riddle. Then I'll say that integer number of prisoners. So like suppose we have 100 prisoners, so I need to count how many prisoners found their own number within this like within by opening the boxes, and that too half of the boxes they have to open depending upon the total number of prisoners. So like I need to check means how many prisoners, if suppose all of the prisoners have found their number, so this integer will become the equals to number of prisoners. If like suppose take example like number of prisoners are 20, so if all of the prisoners will find their number, this particular integer will become 20. If suppose 10 of them find their own number, 10 didn't find, this particular integer will remain as 10. So I'll update that thing in the code, and we'll see that thing in few minutes. Number of prisoner on their number. For now, for in the start we'll keep it as 0. Then we'll take the number of, we'll take another integer, will be our number integer, and this will be our number of prisoner. This we will get from the get as an input. Okay, so and now I want the map that we have created on the top. This is the create room. So now I want this room to be available here so that we can run our scenario in this room. So for that I need to define a map of integer comma integer. I'll call this map as a room map because this is our room where the scenario will run. And how can I create that one? Simply I'll call this method. Okay, and I'll pass the number of prisoners. So this will eventually give me a room from 1 to the number of prisoners with all the values that are created randomly, and those are unique placed. So with this we can get our room map. So this number of prisoners I will ask the end user to give me. So I'll say that this is going to come from there, so this part is not required anymore, I believe. Okay, this will come as an input that is passed over here. Now that everything is set up, now we want to run the code, run the scenarios, I mean to say. So for that I will write a loop for integer. I'll take again index, and this will be again equals to 1, and this loop will run on the number of prisoners, total number of prisoners that number will get. So I'll say that index is less than equals to number of prisoner, and I'll increment it by 1. Now this, when this loop will run,